I have 8 minutes to go then. Thank you. Thank you very much. I think I can do it pretty close to 8 minutes. All right, let's see. Guys, Intel-wise, it's funny because it comes and goes in waves. We get a lot of, like, for example, on Sunday, of all days, I got 11 calls from one of my main sources. Just call after call after call of information, a nugget here, a nugget there, an indicator that things are moving along. And I'll tell you, and then, of course, sometimes it gets a little slow. Today was a little slow, and then it picked up speed this afternoon. Now, let me tell you where we are in terms of the IMF meeting. You guys heard that there was an IMF meeting in Washington, D.C. over this past weekend. And it was supposed to end, I believe it was a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, those 3 days. It was supposed to end about 3 or so in the afternoon on Sunday. Then we find out, wait a minute, they're still meeting, and it's Monday. And it goes all day and into the evening. And then we find out today, wait a minute, the meeting's not over. It's still going today, Tuesday. And it's going all the way until 8:45 Eastern. The last speaker was going to start at 7:15 and go to 8:45, an hour and a half slot. And we were like, what? But it was interesting because they needed the meeting to continue. There were some issues that needed to be solved regarding Iran, primarily, that didn't get solved until about 6 o'clock this evening, East Coast time, okay? And where it looked like we had a major issue, and we might have had a major issue with Iran regarding the sale of oil in the petro-yuan as opposed to the petrodollar. That got cleaned up, and that got restored back to the petrodollar. We understand that, guys, and I don't have the absolute proof on this, but my understanding is the dollar did go gold-backed overnight. And we have the USN released last night as a gold-backed dollar. And that, to me, is a reason why Iran could take our petrodollar back, gold-backed, as opposed to using the petro-yuan, which is gold-backed. Okay? So that part made sense to me. The question was Iran going to even go in the first basket? And we believe that it was in question for a while, and now we believe that it is back in the first basket that will go. That's our latest understanding. Let's talk about where Iraq is. Okay, Iraq did release their lower denominations in their ATM machines. They have an in-country rate that's known in-country. They have a rate that has been flashing on our bank and redemption center screens. And it's a front screen rate. And we know that that rate has been flashing, meaning that it's not quite locked in yet. It's still trading. It had a good trading range it was in. Even today was within some different price points. All of that's good. But at about 1 o'clock this afternoon, the dinar rates came off of the screen and the word pending appeared. So we just have the fact that we think pending, as I see pending as a good sign, because usually when something's pending, it means it's about to change. And we're looking forward to a solid rate on the dinar to come into play on the screens. Don't know when exactly. Could be any time now. Could be tonight, tomorrow. Who knows? But it looks like that is what we are really waiting for. Okay? That seems to be what we need to get everything kicked off. The IMF meeting finished up. Like I said, it's finished up by now. They voted and settled on a go, let's call it, at 6 p.m. Eastern. And that's a very positive thing. For a while it was sketchy there. And now I think we're in good shape with the IMF. Everybody's in agreement. Things are being done. Iraq has a week that starts tomorrow, which is a financial finance education week that starts tomorrow, that they need to have that done to educate their people about banking and the banking system that is in Iraq. And we understand that the ATMs were turned on and that the fintech system, which is the new one of the new parts of the global transfer system, the SIPS system, the fintech is sort of affiliated with the SIPS system, that is up and running and connected, if you will, in Iraq. And that was partially connected, I believe it was Sunday, and I believe by now it is completely connected and up and running and functional. So Iraq can basically be part of the world stage for bank transfers and so on. All right, so that's a very positive thing. Now, my understanding is tomorrow, I believe it is, I'm going to say tomorrow, there is a new conference that's starting in Iraq. And I'm going to make the assumption that it's in Baghdad. I don't know for sure where in Iraq it starts. But it's the IBBC, which I believe is the International Business and Banking Conference. Okay? And that is going on. And these are the countries that will be attending are those that attended before that plan to have a certain amount of investment made in the country of Iraq, but many of these countries said that they would not be attending unless Iraq had their international rate out. So I think that conference is going to be a big deal, and I think Iraq is going to want to take advantage of the timing of it, and to have as many attendees as they intend, they probably should have their rate known for that conference to reach its full potential. And that is supposed to start tomorrow, I believe. So you've got a lot going on over there now. Now, let me tell you something else about the key cards. You know, key is spelled Q-I, and I understand from a long time ago it was to be pronounced key, like K-E-Y, but it's spelled Q-I. The key cards, which are the debit cards, in Iraq that the people have, they have two separate cards. They've had a MasterCard, okay, tied into believe it's Rafidian Bank. Well, I'm going to change that. Yeah, I think it was Rafidian Bank and Chase. Okay, that those banks sort of have a partnership for this debit card, and the citizens are getting their retirement pay on that card, on that MasterCard. It's a MasterCard. They also have a brand new card that's been issued, which is a Visa card. And that card is the one the citizens will receive their profits from the oil revenue sales on. So you've got one for retirement and possibly salaries being paid, okay, on the MasterCard, and then on the new Visa card, that's the one for oil profit sharing that comes from the sale of oil from Iraq. And that card today was supposed to be utilized and accessible by the citizenry of Iraq for that purpose, to pick up those profits that were allocated to the citizens as of today. Now, I don't have full confirmation yet at the time of the call whether that occurred, but that was supposed to happen today. All right? So Iraq is moving along pretty nicely. They've got this Financial Education Week, which starts tomorrow and goes through Tuesday. And that's something that was part of the IMF protocols that they needed to do, but it appears that because they have set that up to start tomorrow, that satisfies the IMF, okay? And that's why they were able to move forward and vote at 6 o'clock, have a go decision for this whole GCR to begin, all right? So that's really good news for us. Let's see what else we have. We understand tonight that I'll do it in Ed Sullivan. Now tonight, right after the big call, sometime maybe overnight. We're not sure exactly. Okay, I'm just kidding. Okay, tonight we expect the Tier 3s to pay out. That's what we're hearing. We're hearing some funding is supposed to be moving from Paymasters accounts. We think this is our Tier 3s finally being paid. Some of the other Tier 1s, Tier 2s, they have been paid, but they don't have access to those big funds, the big numbers yet. Okay? So we're believing that's coming, but in the true feeling of a shotgun start, they may not have access to their funds before we have access to our 800 numbers and the start of our appointments. We know that the prosperity packages are set to go out within 2 to 4 hours after the 800 numbers are released or after our first appointment is made. It's in that range, 2 to 4 hours afterwards. So we're hearing Tier 3s are supposed to be paid tonight or overnight tonight, let's say, and that's a really good thing moving in that direction. Let's see, there was something else regarding, I think the big thing is that there was another large tranche coming in tonight, we believe, to one of the major funding sources that you guys would recognize as a funding source. And then I believe after that, they will be able to release funds and distribute funds to various project participants shortly after we get started. Okay, so that's coming up in the very, very near future, meaning shortly. In terms of us, in terms of what's going on, I know that HSBC has informed their Redemption Center people about how the various rates would apply to certain people based on their projects, based on a number of criteria. I know that was done yesterday all over the country, and that was a very positive move and just happened just like clockwork, just exactly like it was supposed to. And I think all we're waiting for right now, and to be honest with you guys, as I always would be honest with you, I don't know why I said that. I don't like it when somebody says that to me, because why wouldn't you be honest to me? All the time, all the time. The thing is, we need for that rate on the Iraqi dinar to go solid. And my personal belief is that rate will show solid at the same time that we get the release for our toll-free numbers. It's just my feeling. Doesn't mean it's going to be that way. That's what Bruce thinks, is all that means. And I think our shotgun start will occur approximately when that happens. That's it. I think that is basically what we need to say in terms of intel tonight. Sue, how far did I go over the hour?
Sorry. You did good. You're at 10:06.
Okay, went over a little bit, but I had a little bit more to bring. Okay,
Yeah.
Thank you, Sue. Well, let's do this, guys. I feel like we're in really good shape. I wasn't really sure earlier this afternoon, but I'm feeling much better with the latest bit of information that we got this afternoon and this evening. Everything's kind of coming together. So I would say we're in a really good place, and let's just take advantage of it. Let's pray this in. Let's believe for it. I'm going to ask Pastor Stephen, when he prays this call out, to pray in that blessing that we're expecting. Pastor, would you do that for us? As soon as you unmute. And we'll see if Pastor Stephen, if you're still there, Pastor. Okay. You're there, unmute.
Queued up.
Oh, are you going to cue some music up on the way out, Sue?
Yep.
Okay. All righty.